degree in computer science from University, a specialization in software engineering. She is a member of Malaysian Software Engineering Interest Group and RAS Measurement Malaysian Chapter Committee. Recently, she has experienced and completed a leadership industrial attachment at Axiata Group Berhad under the CEO at Faculty Program CFP at the Cybersecurity Department and mentored directly from the Chief Information Security Officer CISO. The CFP is an initiative for the Higher Education Minister under Shift 2 of the Malaysia Education Blueprint 2005 until 2025. She has also served as an editorial board for the International Journal of Science and Engineering Technology. As an academician herself, she is actively being a reviewer for several international conferences, international and national journals. In addition, she was elected as chairperson session in Harvard International Conference, iUser UiTM, and UNICEF symposiums. Her field of expertise is in software requirement engineering, analysis, system integration, e-learning, software maintenance, and software engineering education, cybersecurity strategic level, trade secret, information technology audit, and rush measurement model analysis. So without further ado, I would like to present our speaker with title of Empowering Women for the Support of Next Generation Innovation Preparedness. Welcome, Dr. Nurul, Azliana, Akmal, Jamaludin.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nabilah, Dr. Farah. So, Dr. Nabilah. So, for everyone, hi, and I would like to start my my session today by express a thank you for UiTM, which is from Pejabat Timbalan Naib Chancellor Penyelidikan and Innovation, Institute for Biodiversity and Sustainable Development, and also Faculty of Architecture, Planning and Surveying, FSPU, UiTM. I would like to say thank you very much for having me today. So, hi everyone. So, as you know, my first slide is about me. Alright, so for the rest of the slide, we'll explain about my sharing on my knowledge and also my experience what I have until now. So, as we know, as a woman, we already know that as being a woman, we want to have a flower, we want to engage with the cosmetics, and we want to have a jewelry and other women related. So it's about a woman. So as for now, but inside us, we are actually being very strong women in order to overcome the world. All right. So the world challenges came up day by day. So we as women, what is our strength and responsibility into it? So because of that, we can do many activities to make us more stronger. So like myself, I already get involved with the skydiving. We did the Malaysia Books of Record last 2 years. All right. So and also we did the motocrossing. Then being a woman, I hope one day I can do a piloting the plane, right? So being whatever we want to manage our own manly insight, that's the important thing for us. So we are still a woman who are calm, who are charming, but at the same thing, we want to have a strong insight from us all right? So that's why I chose this topic, empowering women for the support of next generation innovation preparedness. So by having the right attitudes and determination, actually you can achieve whatever you want in your life, right? So basically, as coordinator mentioned, I am from National Defence University of Malaysia, NUM, stated in Sungai Besi, alright, Kuala Lumpur. So I hold the position of coordinator for competency-based talent management. So by having that kind of unit, that is a new unit in NUM. So we are looking forward into the right talent for the right position and support. All right. So because of that, I really would like to thank again to UiTM to have me today that can impart me to give a presentation on this kind of topic that really um, in trend right now, all right, the gender equality, and also that relate into our innovation. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so by having this kind of targeting empowering women for the support of the next generation, um, as we know that to produce a set of universal goals that meet the urgent environmental, political, and economic challenges facing our world. So that's we have to uniquely cover this issue under SDG. So before this, we have an MDG, then we embark into the SDG because SDG is much more better compared to previous, as everyone knows about that. So we already that the issues can covered by having everyone put a responsibility and having a set of to take care what we have near close to us. Okay, so by having the SDG, SDG is a unique that they reaffirm our international commitment to end poverty permanently everywhere. Alright, so as we looking into our circle, especially during the COVID-19, okay, so we can see that everyone have struggled. So the business closed, the students need to be in house, the lecturer need to really entertain the student at home by having difficulties doing a lot of commitment in the home, and by having the household that we have known that nowadays we have 240,000 singles mother in Malaysia. All right, so because of that, lots of um, activities from government day by day have been put in to counter this kind of problem. So uh, next slide. Okay, so they are for that reason they're ambitious in making sure no one is left behind. All right, so more importantly, they involve us or to build a more sustainable, safer, more prosperous planet for all humanity. Okay, so for 8 Malaysia Development Goals, it's not millennium, so 8 Malaysia Development Goals that covered on poverty, alleviation, education, gender equality, and empowerment of women, child, and maternal health, environmental sustainability, reducing HIV, AIDS, and communicable disease, and building a global partnership for development. So by having this kind of sustainable, resilient, and inclusive development, we hope that we can sustain on how the women that can be part of world process. Okay, world process whereby the meaning of that is what we can do that we can help our country, that we can help our circle. Okay, so we have our own position to help everyone. Okay, the best thing that I can say is about our mindset. All right, about our mindset. If you say about SDG, if you say about K economic, now we have lots of things that in place. But however, if everyone don't change the mindset at the right place at the right moment, so it will go wrong. Whatever you want to develop, okay, so everything will be messy. So the first thing is you must really change the mindset. So when we have the right mindset, then we can have sustainable in everything, right? So from there, when we talk about the sustainable, okay, we want to have the startup. Okay, example, we want to have the startup. So you already know, government give the opportunity to have this grant, to have this kind of project, this kind of things. Okay, you do the startup, but then you can't sustain because you just follow without having your own initiative to sustain. You just use that as a startup, then finish it. You don't have the empathy to make it success until the end. All right, that's not good. So what we want to have is whatever government project to everyone, okay, to cover all the problem or challenge or issues. So we can take that as an opportunity for us. But we need to bear really in our mind that if you want to have that kind of opportunity, you must make it sustained. That is really, really important for us right now because at 2030, we are forecast that we must have uh, increasing the the equality of every gender equality. And for your information, in Malaysia, we are the second lowest of gender equality. So that is we should do something about it. All right. So among 153 countries, we are on 104. All right. So, for me, we really need to put a responsibility on it. Okay? So we be a visible change, right? So, for now, in the labor force, we only have a 55% for female compared to 80% of male. So lucky for men, they have lots of opportunity, but we actually can create our own, okay, to make it sustain. So because why? We already have the resilient inside us, okay. We are multitasking. We are really good in doing the commitment in household, and also we can also do good in the work expertise. All right. So because of that, for development, for any kind of development, it's including the human development. All right. So how we want to empower the women. So it starts from us. We cannot change everyone. We cannot change everyone. Okay. So we can only change ourselves. All right. So today I just share whatever it is, so you can have lots of questions to me. All right. So but then I hope that I can bring everyone to me and to us that we must do our own ownership in whatever we do. All right. So your mindset is important. Your then from mindset you can go everywhere you want. The sky is not a limit. I did that. All right, I did that by having the skydiving. But you can you can overcome the obstacles. Okay, you can overcome the fear. So basically Malaysia have a good platform for the women to be part of a male opportunity, of course, especially in education and research project. All right. So, but how we want to put ourselves with or else among of them. All right. So that's important. So you need to really change the mindset. So for your information, during my attachment in France, okay, so that institution is comprised of 25 sectors industry, okay, industrial sectors. So from 25 industry, they come out with the university, okay, come up with the university. So from there, what we can see is a lot of them is a male, right? Lots of them is a male. So the women's only 10% of it. Okay, where's women? All right. So where's women? Even though there's a lot of opportunity, but where's women? Is it the women's only in the home? Okay, doing all the commitment. All right. But then we need to bear in our mind, by being a woman, we must really know that everyone need us. Okay, male have their own mindset, but we can save them by having our own mindset, brain, thought, and also the idea. When I my attachment in Aziata, so the first thing that have been mentioned from uh, uh, my CTO, Chief Talent Officer, Mentorship Administrator. So the first thing is what you have in as a worker when the company want to hire you. Okay, they want you to have the skill that can help the company. Okay, that can help the company. So you don't have to be shy. You don't have to be really isolated. Okay, because in future we really need to be integrate to each other. Okay, even though in education, even though in the training, even though in a project, even though in many things, so we need to integrate. All right, so the ownership of whatever we want to do is important. That's really important. Okay, so that's why when I really love to be invited to speak about this empower women, because by having the empowering the woman, women can do. All right, outside of this, outside of the education world, actually there has lots of opportunity in the fingertips. Okay, you just go for TEDx, you just go for edX, you can go for any kind of training freely through internet. Okay, you have to be really settle with your mindset. Okay, you don't have to be again isolate. Right, you don't have to be isolate. You can be with everybody. Okay, you can be with everybody in terms of education, collaboration, and so forth. All right, so especially when you have the right mindset, then you can have a more like thinking. Okay, I would like to mention about the uh, social, economic, and environment. So now we only focus on challenge. But for your information, I really love to mention and discuss about the Elon Musk, as we know that he created a science as a major issues or a major contribution our humanity and planet. All right, we uh, we cannot see inside the challenge or issues. We need to go outside that kind of challenge and issues, so then we can settle that kind of issues. All right, so if we keep thinking in our mind that that is an issue, that is a problem, that is a challenge, then you go nowhere. Okay, as a woman, we have a lot of commitment. We have a kids, okay, who are mother here. So, and of course, every man will respect to every woman in here. Okay, because everyone have their own responsibility and roles. Okay, so the mindset is important. So again, mindset and again mindset. So if you can change yourself, your own self, I'm sure everyone have the right pace to to go similar at 20, 30, 32, right? So because of that, um, if we want to improve our social, our economy, and our environment, so the creativity being an important role, especially from creativity, you can embark of innovation. All right. So when we talk about the creativity, for your information, by having the Elon Musk in our discussion today, so I can see that he really created something that beyond of our mind, right? So we ourselves having difficulty to put our product example for research examples. As entrepreneur side, actually the commercialization is not the things that they are really care. What they are really care, it's about marketing. Alright? So you can have both mind between the educator and also the entrepreneur. Okay, from there you can be creative. That's why I want everyone to have a really solid training that you can get from the internet, you can get everywhere, anywhere else in this world. Okay, even though you are in Malaysia, you can still can get the training outside. You can manage your time. Okay, if you are busy during the day, then you can have a training in the morning, or else you can have a training in midnight. All right, so you have 24 hours. So why we need to choose that? We need to have a relaxing time. You, even though you are still young, okay, you have lots of time. Please do really utilize your time. Okay, so that's why I put a lot of things about me, because for your information, the main important for mindset is about yourself. All right, so based on the 27 countries shows that um, ex, uh, 86%, 86% would like the world to change significantly and become more sustainable and equitable rather than go back to status quo. That's really being a kick off for me myself. All right. So we want to change. We want to have a change. But how? During my experience doing the project with Selangor for teknologi maklumat, teknologi maklumat that we need to do the blueprint for them. Alright. So we need to come up with the Wi-Fi. We need to come up the idea of lots of things for Selangor. Alright. But for teknologi maklumat only. Alright. We are not touched on the governance. Okay. So lots of things that that we really need to focus during the project is about how we want to make sure the blue ocean is in there. Okay, so by having said that, we want to have a change, we want to have a Wi-Fi, the good internet, but the infrastructure is not ready. But how you can do further if the infrastructure is still not ready yet? It's not okay. It's not okay. So someone need to take charge on it. All right. So that's why we can't do everything in isolate. All right. So during last 15 years back, I've been involved with the iPlan Malaysia to do the big data blueprint on that time. So it's not easy to make sure everyone is in the same page. Okay, why? Because everyone is still not aware that big data become a the real challenge in the future. All right. So it's a lot of things that we need to do as a to do, but it still have a constraint, because not everybody feel that the data that they want to share is secured. So everyone is still in isolate, and they feel that being in isolate, you can be safe. Okay, so uh, then that's only a few examples. All right, can you see that we want to do something, we want to have a change, but the mindset is important role. Okay, if you don't change your mindset, then whatever you want to do, it will fail. Okay, sorry to say that, but I have to say that because it's happened. Okay, if you want to if you want to have a change, then we have to change our mindset first. Okay, so in future, maybe we can have next. Next slide. Alright. So, in future, as you can see, in Sustainable Development Goals, that's really solid and very beautiful of SDG. Not everyone knows about SDG. SDG have mentioned the collaboration between the UN, between UNDP, between the Nahrain, between the all of the agencies. But how far it goes into the poverty people? How does everyone aware about it? Okay, if you not study about it, okay, how far everyone aware about it? If I am in technology people, is it we really know that every single sustainable development goals have been touched to us? Not everyone. So we have really need put a responsibility to look into single things, because again the isolation is not, is only in back time. Okay, in the future we need to integrate between one SDG to another. We have for 17 SDG. Today we can only touch for 3. That is gender equality, that I focus on women empowerment, industry innovation and infrastructure, and also partnership for the goals. So how about the rest? So for your information, a lot of things that we need to really bear in our mind, that everyone need us. Okay, everyone need us. Who are having today, I hope that you can be a part of the change. Okay, change yourself, change your mindset, be part of this. That's really good and beautiful. All right. So we don't talk about the scamming. We don't talk about the cyber security challenge. We don't talk about the things that's more beyond. But before we go beyond, we need to settle everything. But before we settle everything, we must again to change our mindset. So, as example in Togo, they have a digital cash transfer program. All right, was built from scratch in just 10 days. Okay, in just 10 days. How they do that? To serve 12% of the population, that is prioritized to women. Okay, why? Because women need to know their rights. Okay, need to know their rights. You must know that as a woman, when we know our rights, we can do it right. So meaning that by having this kind of digital cash, you can buy everything online. You can do everything whatever you do. Example, you have a commitment to keep your child in the house. All right, you need to cook. You need to do everything. Okay, but by having this kind of creativity, okay, but by having this kind of creativity, that having the digital cash, okay, digital cash, we can be everywhere actually. Okay, in future we can do shopping by having the AR. We can just sit and do the shopping without interact with others. So COVID-19 for me is a really good chance for us to change. Okay, so a recent study with UN Women and the Frederick S. Pardee Center at the University of Denver shows that in 2021, expected there will be 118 women in for every 100 poor men globally, and this could rise by 2030. Is it a surprise? How we want to control this? In Malaysia itself, we have 240,000 single mothers. How we can? If they are professional, then that's okay. If they are not, what we can make them be a part of these sustainable development goals. We talk about the sustainable goals, development goals, but how we want to make sure everyone is with us. That's important. Okay, we need to think. We really need to think on how to make everyone be part. The the most important that I can see that we as a woman is really good in doing the education to educate people, alright? To educate people. We don't only teach and going back. We educate our students. That's the simple thing that we can do as our role as a lecturer. But by having the research, okay, uh, during my attended in UNESCO, okay, in UNESCO last 2 years, okay, what I can see is everyone, everyone want to have their own vision in life, but how many knows that UNESCO always mention that certain places is we need to take care, not many. Alright. So they've been part of one is about equality program also. So by having that kind of discussion, we can say that um, to collect all the data, okay, to do the collaboration among countries, especially from Asian countries, we should be together. All right, we should be together to make sure everyone have the same page as us to go forward, because we don't have much worried about the European country, okay? So they are already stable. But for us in Malaysia, especially, how we can encounter this kind of the lack of poverty, all right? So compared to the men. So women economic empowerment is at the heart of poverty reduction and underpins progress across the SDG. So investment in care services, education and skill are critical for economies of the future. So as I said just now, when we talk about the COVID-19, for me COVID-19 is in positive way is about we change everything um, much more gradually, okay, much more better. Because why? We can improve a lot of things. Okay, we can improve a lot of things that we not think before that. Okay, but then by having the COVID-19, we already know that everyone is a jobless. Many women is jobless, right? But from the jobless, they create another job. Okay, examples the pilot, job being terminated by the airlines, but then they create a business, all right? So being a trainer to educate people about the something, all right? So actually, by having that kind of challenge, we think out of our box and then being creative to be really look into what we can do in our role, all right? So um, so recent estimate from the International Trade Union Confederation show that investment in the care economy of 2% of GDP in just 7 high-income countries would create over 21 million jobs. Okay, 75 to 85% of them going to women. Lucky for us, okay, given current patterns of employment segregation. For emerging economies, a similar investment would potentially create 24 million new jobs in China, 11 million in India, nearly 2.8 million in Indonesia, 4.2 million in Brazil, and just over 400,000 in South Africa, of which 43 to 74% would go to women. So similar like us, we have the Agency of Women Federation. Okay, they are creating the penjana. Okay, they're creating the job by having a collaboration with the penjana that have been mentioned in ministry. All right, so all women who want to have the job, they can have opportunity to be part of this training. Okay, the training more towards of what they can do in the house. All right, example like cooking, like the simple thing. All right, so but society benefit when women can access opportunities. Okay, when we as a women can have that kind of opportunities, our recent opportunities. So, by University of Denver shows that investment in women's empowerment in Egypt can lead to 3.8 million fewer people in poverty in 2030 that would be otherwise expected, showing positive multiplier effects of investment in gender equality. That's really good news. Okay, and also in Malaysia, uh, we are increasing to reduce the poverty from 3.8 to 5.6%. That's really good, and it's affected to the rural poverty that is 12.4%. Okay, so because of that, as I mentioned just now, it's either we as a woman or we are a male, we have our own role. All right, we have to be together to collaborate with each other to bring these kind of things being a change, and the mindset is the important thing that we need to do first. Okay, so uh, we need to go outside from our comfortable environment. So don't just go to the job, go to the work and going back doing our normal things. Even though we talk about the well balance work life balance, okay, it's about how you manage your own life. All right, so you need to really understand your intelligence, emotional intelligence, which is the EQ. So your EQ need to be really high. Okay, if you want to embark yourself in whatever under SDG, we can't only say that we have SDG. We must be part of it. Then we can really understand what actually SDG want us to do. Okay, so you can get involved with NGO for starting. All right, just get involved with anyone else out there. Okay, my friends also have their own responsibility and role. They do a lot of things. They do the educator, they do the training. We can't only speak, we just do the action. Then by having the action, you can really do the change. You can really do the change. Okay, I said it many times. Sorry for that. Okay, so by the impact of COVID-19 on development gains has been significant and continue to evolve, reflecting on our next move. One of the lessons from the pandemic is need to address systemic origin of risk. Okay, for which the 2030 agenda provides a powerful blueprint, which is our collective efforts must focus on the root causes of complex challenges and address the drivers and obstacles to progress. Okay, now we already started, then we just go forward one day by day. Okay, so workers in the informal economy are among the hardest hit during the COVID-19 pandemic, with low wages, little saving, and little to no access to social protection. This is happen nowadays. Okay, we don't really uh, not many people. I'm sure everyone here is already aware about the savings. Okay, but in future we don't know yet. Okay, but other than that, from rural area they don't have any savings. So a lot of poverty happen because of that. Okay, not at many people is not ready. Okay, so um, next. So because of that, okay, because of that, I would like to bring all of you into the innovation for IR. What is for IR? Everyone mentioned about the 4IR, for evaluation, for industrial revolution. Okay, it's about innovation. But how many people really know what innovation is all about? How many people? All right. So we talk about innovation. If I'm not into it, I do not know actually what is innovation all about. Okay, everyone talk about innovation. What is innovation? It seems difficult when we talk about technology terms. What? But when we going back to the layman language, we can say that the innovation is something that change from manual to other things that make our life easier. Innovation can be two. Okay, during my attachment as a lecturer in France, okay, so that is my mentor, all right. So we talk a lot about the how we can sustain the student after they leave the university, because we are facing in Malaysia is about after they finish the universities, okay, the university life. After that, all the course they have learned is obsolete. And for your information, in European country or outside country, they already managed to make sure for at least 2 years after the student finish their studies, they can still use the technology that they have learned during the universities. Okay, that is how we manage the sustainability between the education and the industry. So that's why by having the innovation, it's about uncertainty, the ambiguities, something that you can't really look into it when you are in the red ocean. What is a red ocean? Red ocean is something similar like we have lots of technology, but you, especially on the phone, okay, we have a lot of brands, okay, we have a lot of brands, but then we still want to be part, or we want to choose that kind of project or technology to be part of. That is red ocean, whereby everyone already know about it, then you still want to be part of it. Example, we have Vivo, we have Oppo, we have iPhone, we have Samsung, we have Huawei. Okay, a lot of things. Okay, the difference is about the features. So that's why from beta version, they come out with a new version. Then the price is increasing when the new iPhone came out, then they reduce the previous one. That is how the red ocean doing it. Okay, so this is how they have a challenge on it, but different with the blue ocean. Okay, when we talk about innovation, we must know how blue ocean is all about. Example for Elon Musk, they look into the space because no one will enter that except the NASA, right? But we as Malaysian, what kind of criteria of blue ocean that we can look into? What? What is it? Okay, in Asian country, what we can collaborate to make sure that is a blue ocean. Okay, we need to think how we need to think. The innovation and the marketing is actually need in each other. Okay, who is our target market? When we talk about innovation, we must know our target market. We want to produce something, we want to know our target market, right? So from there, we must know our stakeholder, who will going to use our product. Okay, when we talk about our research, in education, in education syllabus, we are worried that our product cannot be commercialized, but it's already innovate. But in entrepreneur, as I mentioned earlier, okay, so in entrepreneurship, it's not about the commercialization, but it's about how you market the things. So again, it going back to the blue ocean just now. If you are doing the research under blue ocean category, then you can do the commercialization easier. You can do the pattern. You can do the you can sell it easily. All right. So, but as we know, not everyone um, really understand the concept of between the red ocean and blue ocean, because that is really a strategic level of thinking that we as a normal lecturer, we should know about it, right? We should know about it, because when we really understand what is the blue ocean that have been mentioned in many people, especially the top management, all right, the entrepreneur, the businessman, uh, actually it's really good if we know about it when we start telling to the student what it's all about. Then if they do something, even though it's about technology, even though it's about um, architecture, it's about something else, so they know that they are in the right track, all right? So they know the stakeholder, they know the target market, they know what they do, okay? Then they are very confident on what they want to do, okay? So for the first innovation for IR, I put in here is about IoT, okay? So, from Gartner, a leading consultation and research company and in ICT, predicted that the IoT technology will generate economic opportunities of 890 billion globally and increasing in value to 6,100 billion by 2020. It is estimated that the IoT will grow at a rate of 34.1% per annum in the Asia Pacific region to 203 billion by 2020. Okay, Malaysia is at an excellent position to seize the economic opportunities generated by the IoT. So the broadband, internet and cellular penetration rate is at 67.8% and 145% respectively. Established electric and electronics and telecommunication sectors, strong foundation of small and medium-sized enterprise SME, and implementation of various governmental innovation initiatives will become the basis in facilitating the implementation of IoT initiative. Okay, so the gross from there is national income of Malaysia by 2020 and 42.5 billion by 2025. So for 2030, it will raise much more better. All right. So because of that, IoT become the real situation for now. Is about the example like smart city, example like smart house that will incur of IoT, okay, Internet of Things, all right. So the strategic collaboration with Malaysia IoT players in developing IoT application with the aim of strengthening the Malaysia IoT ecosystem towards the realization of Malaysia as a regional IoT development hub and to expand the adoption of IoT technology. So encourage the use of IoT technology to act as a catalyst in making government initiative a success. Example, National Industry 4.0 policy framework, national trade strategic roadmap, and etc. So because of that, we need to strengthen the competitiveness and infrastructure of Malaysia IoT ecosystem. So IoT is something that you have to bear in your mind that everyone have a phone and you can start doing it to make sure every single thing have been used. You only using the mobile phone, all right? You can download the apps. You can do. That's why as a women, we should encourage ourselves or our kids to make sure they really know the technology nowadays. Even though on design, even though they are using the biological, they really love to do the biology, but then they can start study from the phone. Okay, everything we can just use the phone. Okay, the smartphone especially. All right, that's why many, even though they are poverty, they are still one smartphone being be 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 as part of their kids. All right. So for big data, okay, big data normally, okay, to share the knowledge, build connection, and spread innovation on climate action, blue economy, digital transformation, and innovative financing for development. All right. To engage with the community to help small island developing states accelerate action toward the SDG and um, the pathway. All right. So by having that big data analytics digital the government open innovative network, all right, in Malaysia, implemented on 29 January 2015 to 28 January 2016. So this project is a strategic collaboration between Mampu, MDEC, MOS, and four agencies, namely the Ministry of Finance, Department of Islamic Development of Malaysia, Department of Irrigation and Drainage, and National Hydraulic Research Institute of Malaysia, NAHRIM. So big data, they focus on national big data analytic framework, public sector big data analytic framework, the governance, the methodology being used, the platform that being used, competency development of data science, who's the right talent for the right position for this kind of data science. All right, the advisory service, they can give the sentiment analysis, they can give the right advice to the right business and also the education sector and many more. Okay, so by having the big data in future, we should have lots of this kind of things. All right, so okay, so next, sorry, that is a 10:53. Okay, I'm worried about that. I'm trying to finish it. Okay, so all right. So by having that kind of big data, so we must have the data skills. Okay, by World Economic Forum, they are predicts that data and AI will be one of the key drivers of future growth in the near future. So everyone must know that we are really near for it. All right, and in near future we will have the neural links. Okay, you can store everything in your mind and everything will you just think and everything will be happened uh, in the in a second. So artificial intelligence is the second half of the WF pairing with data, blockchains, sales and marketing, healthcare and nursing, emotional intelligence and creativity. And for your information, by having this kind of big data, we actually can do the right decision making in the near future very faster. Okay, nowadays we do manually that involve many manpower. Okay, so it will take about 1 month to 3 months, but by having the big data, we call it big data dashboard analytics, so you can only have 3 days to 5 days to make the decision. By having this, it's much more easier. All right, so we as a woman, please take note of it, then be part of it. Start reading about it, and we can see that how value we are about this kind of things. All right, so are we ready? The next slide. So are we ready? Are we ready? The innovation preparedness. So for your information, okay, for the next the fourth industrial revolution, why I putting my image here is about branding. In future, you don't have to say about other people, you only say about you yourself. How you want to make sure by having your eye, by having your body, by having your physical, by having your mind, by having your skill, by having your knowledge, you can do everything you want. As I show that in the slide, we can be what we want. I can be the educator, I can be the leader, I can be the entrepreneur, I can be a scientist, I can be the administrator. And what we need to really look into it is how we do in solving the problems, especially the complex problem. All right, so how we do the critical thinking, how we create the creativity, how we manage the people. That's important thing when you want to be a leader. Okay, how you coordinate with others. Okay, coordinating something. So how you want to make sure you always at the right position of your emotional intelligence. Okay, not many people like leaders from women, because why? We keep talking without action. All right, we hope that we should do the change. Okay, so our EQ must be increased. How to increase that? You can have affirmation positive thinking every morning. Okay, you read the positive things, and it's okay. So for sometimes you deliver all the negativities, but we need to get back our positive energy, because for our positive energy is much more stronger compared to the negative energy. All right, you must bear in mind about that. So based on that, you can have a right judgment and decision making when you have the right EQ. Okay, so by having that, all the service orientation will be on track, and your behavioral change will be also on track. All right, so you must have a passion, enjoy, and have a high EQ. And again, thank you for today's session to UiTM, to the moderator, and happy International Women Day. Behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful women who have her back. So it's okay. Either you are mother, you are the girlfriend, you are the doctor, you are the lecturer woman, you are the leader of women, and etc. Thank you so much. Maybe you can skip to the last slide. All right. Thank you so much. Sorry for taking many times.
Thank you so much, Dr. Azliana, and I'm very fond about your presentation, which is for me, this is the first time I heard some of the percentage of women equality, but I'm focused on your first earlier presentation, which is you say that Malaysian is the second lowest of appreciating gender equality. So, what's the main reason behind this, and what do you think? I mean, how to overcome the situation?
Okay, thank you for the question. As I mentioned just now, it's about mindset. Uh, might be what happened previously is about how we as a woman being always put in our mind we are second from a male. Okay, so for now we hope that we don't have to think about it. What we have right now, if we need to change our mindset, that when everyone at the same page, okay, we already change our mindset, then in the future, so the women will be equal like a man, if it's not far like now. Okay, so what we need to do is we must always go for the training. Okay, for the training you must go for training. Absolutely, you need a training. Even though the training is about leadership, a training is about entrepreneurship, it's about the branding of yourself. Okay, how you want to manage your time, especially a woman who have the lots of commitment with your kids, with your other things. Okay, because male have their 9 brains, right? So women only have 1 brain, but then we have a lot of desires. So change the desires of 9 desires into the right things. That we, me personally hope that we don't put the sky as our limits. We can go beyond. Because as you know, you have a charming things, you are beautiful, you must really know that you are beautiful. All right? You are beautiful outside, you are beautiful inside also. All right? So because of that, I'm sure, and I'm very sure in the near future, the women can increase their level of equality with the male. It's not far like nowadays. All right.
Thank you, Dr. Azliana. So we are open for the question Q&A session. But then I just want to read one of the chat here from Ahmad Faisal Yusuf, which is he said, "Women always can do it."
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So we have no question at the moment. Um, Okay, Dr. Azliana, one more question from me. Do you know what's the best platform we as a woman can have a training session uh, for all of this leadership? Do you have any suggestion for the audience to go to the leadership training kind of thing?
All right. Okay, thank you for that question. I am in competency-based talent management. We already discussed from the university. I have discussed with the other university also. I already do the research with the TNCs among the focus universities that in leadership, for your information, the best training is do it yourself actually. All right, but to have a basis for leadership, you can go and ask a training from your own faculties. Okay, you want to have that kind of essential skill that I have mentioned just now. All right, so you just go for ACAP training. Okay, ACAP training also provide the training. You must be a part of the talent pool. All right, or else you can being suggested by your top management. So you must really know that in essential skills for the leadership, you can have you can go to the KPT. We will open for CEO at faculty program cycle 4, all right, in the near future. So you can go for that because that is a 6 month 6 month training, all right, with the CEO in the company. All right, so if you are not you are not having that opportunity, it's okay. You just go to the edX. Okay, edX, EDEX. So there are lots of leadership program. You can go for Shaw Academy. You can go for many kind of training actually in the internet. You just search the keyword of leadership for women, or else you can search for the 8 essential skills that I mentioned just now. It's about complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, people management, coordinating with others, and many more. So for UiTM, I am sure I lead ILD have this kind of training for leadership. All right. So you can ask your top management to get yourself into it. All right. They already have a massive discussion about this kind of leadership issues. All right. So then you can get the training from there. So there's a lot of opportunity, and we are really welcome if you want to be a leaders woman. That's good.
Thank you, Dr. Azliana, for the explanations. We are waiting for the question from Dr. Rostam.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Azliana. Actually, I want to ask you questions. What is your advice to all the women out there? Because the topic today is empowering women. How they can overcome or have a new mindset or new thinking if they are feeling inferior to men, for example. I think you have a lot of experience in that. And how to go about it?
Okay, thank you for the question. That's an interesting question actually. All right. So for your information, okay, to overcome that kind of situation is uh, by having a reading. Okay, a reading. Okay, you don't go as one is about reading. Okay, reading about idea. Okay, don't read about something that make you sad, something that blunts your emotion. All right, don't go for that kind of book. All right, or any kind of readings. Okay, what you have to do is you go and read something that really uh, boost your energy on your leadership or emotion. Okay, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, you can listen to the affirmative positive thinking every morning in 30 days. Okay, in 30 days. after you pray, after your prayer, if you are Muslim. If you are not Muslim, then you just do the meditation. Okay, in the European country, they are always doing the meditation. All right. So after the meditation, about 5 minutes, then you start going to have that kind of positive thinking, affirmative things that you can always listen in the morning. Only 2 minutes like that. All right. So other than that, me as myself, okay, so I get involved the Navy reservists, I get involved in skydiving, I get involved with many things that me alone as a woman, okay, among other strong men, all right. So, but we need to be really bear in our mind that we can't pity ourselves. Okay, we can't pity ourselves. Even though we have a charming things, okay, you are really know that you have a strength inside. Okay, you really know that you are very strong. You must really always look into the mirror and mention that you are really strong, you are beautiful, can uh, you can improve yourself, you can do whatever you want. Okay, all the positive thing you can say. Okay, make it regularly. Okay, make it regularly. So then uh, one more is about mentorship. I have two mentorship actually. Okay, I cannot mention here. All right, so they are prominent professor. All right, so whoever you want. Okay, one of my mentor mention is about whatever you want, you just see beyond from the circle. As I mentioned just now, you don't look into inside to outside. You need to look outside from the world, then you can solve inside. So from there, you can manage your things and progress it with your determination and desire. Okay, so another mentor mention is about if you want, if you have, uh, if you are capable to rearrange whatever you listened, whatever you look into one things bigger, that much more bigger, much more better, because you need to go into the helicopter view and come out with the right solution. Okay, even though we as a woman, we already know that our weaknesses in ourselves, but by having that kind of weaknesses, you make it as your strength. Meaning, examples of pity, you easily pity to other person. So you must check, you know, your pity just now to NGO. Okay, make something bigger. All right. Or if not, you're doing something that make benefit to you and the community, and help others. For your information, by having helping the others compared to yourself is much more better. All right, once you help others in whatever you do, actually your direction of your vision much more will be much more easier and clearly. All right, so again, the mindset will change your behavior. So what you read, what you look, what you listen is important. It's really important. All right, thank you.
Azliana, I agree with you, your explanation just now. So we have another question from Dr. Iqbal. 1 second. Okay, the question is the issue of gender bias, especially in some professions that are male dominant, can be a great threat. In your opinion, how can or what should we to overcome the stereotypes and prejudice towards women at the workplace?
Okay, thank you for that kind of question. Okay, it's about stereotype. It's again about mindset actually. Alright. So normally, I have a lot of friends, the girlfriend, all right, the girlfriend, all right. So many of us as a woman, or else a male also can gossiping, all right. So what we must make sure that we do our job in the workplace, then compared to having the gossiping. And from having the gossiping, we always come out with the stereotype, right? So we don't have to listen what other people think about us. What we want to we should do is, as a woman, we must do the right thing at the right place at the right moment. As a male, the stereotypes can overcome from day a day. Okay, so examples, accept something that really heavy you need to bring together. So if everything we do as a teamwork, because everyone have their own diverse mindset, all right, have their own brain and have their own idea. So by having a mingle between the male and the women, we can have a solid conclusion and decision actually. All right. So as a leader, you must make sure everyone in your team have their own right to say something, and they can empower themselves. As a leader, we need to empower them also. So giving the guideline, but then make sure they are very creative to do their own things. As a stereotype, we don't have to listen about it. The time will coming after in the next future, that the threat will be overcome day by day. So the important things is about mindset. While whoever you are, wherever we are, so what we need to do is, the mindset is important. So example, in project, okay, when we are doing the project, I'm usually do the project in four. So I am only a woman. So as a woman, we need to do more actually compared to the male, because male is already, we people know that they are really strong. They good in many things, in especially on the job, compared to the household. I'm not sure about that. All right. So sorry. So the household also, the male also can be a woman. All right. So normally, for doing the project, by having this kind of teamwork, we already know our strength. Okay, don't do something that redundant with each other. We need to be complete each other. All right. By having completing each other, then the teamwork become more better. All right. So that's why women, they have their own perspective. Okay, the male also have their own perspective. But when we mix each other, with EQ, with high EQ, then everything should be okay, and giving a better justification of the stereotype in the future, inshallah.
Thank you, Dr. Azliana. We are open question and answers to audience. Dr. Humaiza, would you like to have a question straight to Dr. Azliana?
Yes, thank you, Puan Nabilah. I would like to ask Dr. Lim's opinion, because I have once experience assessing or interviewing more than 100 candidates for this one data analysis program. Yeah. Out of that 100 over candidates, like 70% of them are like girls or women. However, when we interviewed, it seems that the passion on technology was not as high as the guys or the male. So, due to the fact that you are one of the technologies or somebody very related to computer technology, how do you think we can motivate these ladies, who involve in computer science, data engineering, to be more enthusiastic or to be more interested in the technology they are involved?
Okay, thank you for the question. That interesting question. All right. First of all, about the technology related, when it's involved with people, it's not only technology actually. When we want to implement something, we cannot force everyone to do it. Okay, we cannot force everyone to do it. We must make sure everyone can see that things is important first. Okay, that things is important first. Okay, example, just now we talk about the big data or internet of things. All right, internet of things. So when having the internet of things, we give a fact, we give the something like of how it can be implemented, how it can be used during this time and in the near future. We make them see that that is very important for a woman nowadays to be really care about the technology. We can't force them, all right? We don't have to force them, because if we force everyone to do something that not really liked by them, it's much more difficult. Okay, it's okay if they don't like it, all right? But we want to have a 1% person, okay, 1% from 100. Just now you mentioned from 100 just now. We want 1% that are really committed to make sure the things that we want to run and implement is being uh, being given by that kind of candidates. Because especially when I doing the talent, to sorting out the talent pool, okay, we cannot having all those kind of candidate being a talent pool, under the talent pool, can't. All right, we can only stated, okay, the maximum numbers of the talent pool, it can be 25 over 300. All right, it's only 10% of it. Okay, but the real talent to look into it is someone that really can see whatever they have a passion into it, especially on the technology. Nowadays, when we talk about technology compared to business things, people go to business. But as I mentioned just now about Elon Musk is not doing the things because of the business, but he doing the things because his passion on the technology, because he can see. Okay, when we can see, then automatically it's easier for us to tackle the person that we want to collaborate with. All right, so that much more important. Okay, compared to forcing the someone to do it. All right, so I hope I answer your question, doctor. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lin. However, why did I ask the question was this pool or this group of students were actually shortlisted from a very good results of computer engineers, computer analysts, computer science student. However, when to a certain extent we cannot like ask them to compete. However, looking at the trend, when you ask the male students, the male candidates, their passion and their initiative to get to know more about certain technologies are way better than the girls. However, they basically came from the same route, the computer engineering, computer science. Yeah? So maybe we need to install motivation during class or during teaching this group of students, so that they have the same passion, they want to know more on the latest technology and whatnot. I think so.
Yes, agree with you. the training is about something you make them see it. All right, it's a lot of ways. Either you can do the training, you go one by one, or else you can have you need to mentoring them, because you already know the stigma that the girl students much the male student is much more better than the students women student in the technology things. So you really need to put an exercise for it to improve them. Okay,
Alright.
especially on the training.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor, for your response.
Okay, thank you for the question.
Sure. So we're going to go back to the chat. I just want to make sure everybody is filling the form given by staff UiTM on the chat. And also we have digital certs on the right chat box as well. And we have, don't forget to fill in. And we have a message from Siti Iqbal, not to compete, but we should complement male and female to complement each other's existence, I suppose. She's indeed. So before, I think we have enough time now. So can we all switch on video so that we can have a photo session before we end the session? Okay, let's switch on video all together. Everyone's ready? Ifan, can you count, please?
I think you need to unshare the slide first.
Unshare the slide first. Okay, all right. Okay, Dr. Rustam unshare the slides. There you go.
Wow. Hi everyone.
Now you can see everyone's faces.
Thank you for staying until the end of the session, everyone.
All right. Fine.
1, 2, 3.
Smile. All right, done. All right. So before we finish, we end this session. I hope that it's not too late to wish Happy International Women's Day, which is we celebrated 8 March. And of course, women's empowerment and achieving gender equality is essential for our society to ensure the sustainable development of a country. And before that, I would like to conclude and thank you so much to all the audience and also our lovely speaker, Dr. Azliana, for giving such a great dialogue we received today. And I highly appreciate your time for this opportunity. And also I would like to thank our organizer. And last but not least, thank you for joining our session. Hope to see you all again. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.